Sir Flame. I see you, ball. Oh yeah, y'all know what it is. Eagles Web Boxing. We on. Yep. I see y'all there, brother. That's my Sir Flame out there. Y'all know what it says. Y'all need me to read it? Have you been reading it? That's true. Yep. The Sir Flame said salute to Eagles Web. Salute to the chat. He said, and as always, he said, jab that like button on y'all neck. Don't get naked. Eagles Web Boxing. Got all them things up good to fire. These. Don't forget about those, baby. 100%. No, baby, I don't get tired. Yep. Yeah, Shakur is coming. Shakur got a fight with such and such and such. I don't know. Or what? What's going on? I don't know. I don't know. These fighters aren't fighting. But we going to talk about that today because like I explained, everything has layers. And I kind of like that analogy that I think it was even in the movie Shrek when they talk about onions and stuff and talk about layers. So we always got to peel back all these layers. You know what I mean? And I want to talk about a couple of important things because I'm not going to be here that long, but I got to talk about a couple of important things. The two things in boxing that we'll probably get into. Okay, I got Keyshawn and Shakur. Yeah, of course. Yeah, tell us something we don't know, Sir Flame. But anyway, yeah. So it was a tragedy out there. If you were watching, I don't know the particular fighters. I don't know either fight. It was two fights. They were recent. And the one fight, the guy really got hurt real bad, and his body was in a delayed reaction form, and so he was just kind of just standing there slumped over, and the guy backed off from him, and he just fell to the canvas, right, and the ref waved it off. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was one of the worst delayed reaction shots that I have ever seen. And the fighter did not get aggressive, and he did not attack. He did not try to go in and murder the fighter. And we do have a lot of fighters talking about, if he's not dead, then it doesn't count. Well, in that case, if that would have been a heavyweight, that guy probably would have been dead. Or maybe even in this case, the guy might have end up dead. But he just kind of froze like this and then just dropped. I mean, he froze like way after the shot. And then he just crumbled to the canvas. Now, I don't know exactly which fight. You guys might know what I'm talking about. Now, the other fight I saw where there was an opponent against the ropes, and well, actually, he was a little bit off the ropes, and he took some shots, and he was slumped over, and he was still standing because your legs are strong, your legs keep you up, and the guy took two more shots at him. In this case, the guy hit him with like two hard punches. And the second punch, he even went woo. He went woo on the second punch. I think he uppercut. He's like pow, and then woo. You know, he even let that. The ref was trying to get there, but he's just still wait a little bit too late. And when you fighters, when they talk about when you fighters want somebody to really get hurt bad, in those two instances, one fighter could have got hurt extremely bad, but one did actually get hurt extremely bad. So when you guys talk about killing and all that, that you want the guy, another opponent, it's a boxing match. It's not a death match. Unfortunately, sometimes in combat sports, somebody will get unalive, but that's not the goal of the match. The goal is to oppose your will and your style upon another fighter, and you know, do your best to outpoint him, outland him, you know, or just outclass him. Or you can go for a knockout or something like that. But that's not the key elements. So when you fighters are saying that, go back and look at those fights and just see if you want to get in. Do you want yourself in those kind of positions when you run your mouth about a fighter? When they're saying how much you're gonna hurt him, and then to say, for instance, the tables turn, and you are knocked out on your feet and you don't know it. Would you want your opponent to just go ahead and throw two more bombs on you, or just throw nothing but uppercuts so that way it's harder for you to fall to your demise? So just keep that in mind. And I don't care if you're a professional fighter, amateur. I don't care, because that's neither here nor there when it comes to fighting for livelihood or fighting for life. Is different. It don't matter if you're a boxer. You can be a boxer in these streets and you'll get your lungs handed to you. So don't play like that. Don't pretend like because you're a boxer, you're the baddest man on the planet with gloves on. You ain't the baddest man on the planet. When you going down an unfamiliar place and you're surrounded by somebody's family, you don't see them because they blend into the environment. Better go back and watch the first Batman when they was going down that alley. You better go back and watch the old school movie called The Warriors. So just go back and look at that, because those are they both are based off of truth and fiction. So anyway, just get out of that content what you need out of that content. But I just wanted to bring up those disasters before I even talk about like the boxing and stuff like that, because I'm going to break down why it is that boxing today, even though we feel we got a couple of superstars so-called coming up, why boxing is not the same. And probably you have been told this before by other people, but you haven't been told by me. The reason that Sugar Ray Robinson will always be the face of boxing is because he was a gangster when it comes to boxing. Just look it up. I think it's 4 or 5 fights that he had in 29 days at one point, and he won all those fights by knockout. And these fighters today they're barely throwing hands. That's the second part of what I got. That's a second. That's one of the reasons. That's not second, but that's one of the reasons that boxing today, you can't match it up with boxing yesterday. 4 or 5 fights in 29 days. Same day weigh-ins. That's the difference. Those are some of the differences. Floyd Mayweather, he did that for a living, and all these dumb people never understood that Floyd Mayweather never had to make weight. because he was already walking around on weight. You dum-dums that was fighting him and draining yourself to get down to 147, that was your fault. You was coming in bigger than him, but he was already at his his strength, his weight. That's his weight. And you dummies never figured that out. That he took that from the past. That's why even when he went up, he was still not really coming in that heavy. Like when he pretended to move up or had catch weights, he was still not really coming in heavy. Or even when he was supposed to fight below his weight, whatever, he still didn't go down too low. He wasn't going to drain himself like that. And he was teaching somebody else not to do that also. So you got to remember that. So let's get into it. So rules of engagements, everybody knows that. Marquez of Queensberry rules states that, you're supposed to have evenly matched fighters. So if you got two fighters fighting, and you got one throwing punches and one not throwing punches, is that an even match? That's already not an even match. Everybody here said they want to see the best fighting the best. They didn't say they wanted matches that followed the rules. Marquez of Queensberry rules. You don't have nobody that's saying that they want that type of a matchup. You got people saying that I want the best fighting the best. That might not mean nothing. Especially when these guys are fighting once a year. You fighting once a year, you want more and more money. Well, of course, you only have to fight once a year if you get millions of dollars. That's just sustain you from year to year. Oh, it's time for me to go get another paycheck. Well, what happens if you do get hurt or something like I was just mentioning those fighters? Now, the reason these fighters don't match up, multiple things. And we're going to take some layers of it today. The one thing is the combative nature of boxing now. You got one fighter that's avoiding punches, and you got one fighter that's punching. It's not an even matchup. Sorry. Whether you want it to be an even matchup or not. I'm not talking about the different styles. I'm talking about just the combat itself. You can't combat somebody, or you can't have a combat with somebody if they're not engaging. They're not going to fight. Right? So back in the day, you might have had a fighter that was faster. And he might have got off a lot of shots. But guess what? Back in the day, these fighters were saying, I'm going to get my get back. And they come right back after you. So it would be round for round. A lot of times you didn't just have a 15-0 round. 15-0 fight. 15 rounds to nothing. You didn't have fights like that. The only time you would have those if it was an up-and-coming fighter and somebody, they just promised them a shot or something like that. But for the most time, you're not going to get 5 or 6 fights in a row where you outclass the guy. Because after what? For 15 rounds. I know it's 12 rounds now, but for 15 rounds. I would say they need to go back to 15 rounds. Or matter of fact, I would even say maybe do 16 rounds. Let's see. That's 6. So that's actually half a minute. That's 6. That's 2, 2, 1, 2. 14. So it comes out to like 14. So they can squeeze out 15. So I would say that have 15 rounds per fight for championship fights. 2.5 minute rounds. There we go. Yep, you said like Gary Russell Jr. You fight like once every 1.5 years, 1.5 years. Yeah. That's the difference. The difference being that these guys, if you guys ain't going to fight but once every year and a half, 2 years, then you can't compare yourself to the greats. How Sugar Ray Robinson got more fights in less than a month than you got in 3 years? Shut up talking about it. That's why I said there's no pound for pound for me. I go ahead and play along with the pound for pound narrative like everybody else does. I don't mean it. You might mean it, but I don't mean it because you guys already know my sentiment on that there is no pound for pound. The pound for pound He's not here no more. He's not here. And I don't care if you call him Mr. Smith or you call him Sugar Ray Robinson. I don't care. But he's not here anymore. And that's because if you came to put hands on him, he came to put hands on you. Simple as that. He wasn't going to just fold up in a shell and then just disappear. That wasn't going to happen. That was never going to happen. So the engagement, first of all, the engagement. Even then, speaking of the past fighters, even then, you have fighters that might not have even been evenly matched with you. But you know what they did that they don't do now? Is they never showed anybody that they didn't match up with you. They're like, well, I'm coming to put hands on him. But now, once a fighter shows a little bit of dominance now, everybody gets scared of him. With a few exceptions of certain fighters. Like with Tank Davis, a lot of these fighters are scared to fight him. Cruz still wants to fight him. If Cruz want to fight you, and you can fight him so easily, you can beat him so easily, let's go and let's get that fight made. It don't matter what your pay-per-view is. Ain't none of you guys really stars like that. None of you. You guys are still at the fans' mercies, because with no fans, you don't got a job. Because the fans are your employers. The fans and whoever's doing the advertising, whoever's doing the advertising, we your employers. So stop acting like we're not and fight who the hell we say. You know? Don't pull that punk Canelo stuff. And Canelo's not on my pound for pound for nothing, man. I don't know. So he might be on somebody's pound for pound. But I'm sorry, man. Y'all can get mad if you want to. Give me a thumbs down, whatever you need to do. But Canelo's not on my pound for pound. He's on my pound for hiding. He's trying to milk more and more money out of somebody. You ain't that exciting to where you ain't no $200 million fighter where somebody wants to spend $200 million on your ass. Your stink ass. Nobody wants to spend all that kind of money, son. They gonna spend all that money on you for what? You that exciting? You ain't exciting like that. If you exciting, ain't none of these fighters really exciting. You got to be exciting from round one all the way to the last round. And every once in a while we get some fights like that. That's kind of exciting. From round one to the last round. You know. We can get those kind of fights out of David Benavidez if his opponents would just, put more pressure, but sometimes they are. Can't get that out of Tank. But Tank, I'd rather watch Tank than any other fighter, though, right now. Because one thing I can expect that it's going to be a surprise up in there where it can be a knockout. Back to one of my earlier statements. Floyd Mayweather fought at his walk-around weight. Guess who else is doing that? You guys got to realize Tank is he's a little guy. Tank is walking around at his fight weight. He doesn't have to train. He just has to make sure that he just don't go crazy. But he don't have to train to get to his 135. You guys are dumb. All you guys are dumb. When you fighting Tank and you walk around at 160 and you get your dumb ass down to 135, he's been there already. He's acclimated to it. You're gonna pick up all that extra weight before you get in the ring with him, which is mostly gonna be gas, water, or whatever else, and it's gonna wear your ass out. That's why you think he always targeting your body. He's always targeting y'all's body because he know that it's still full of that food. He know it's still full of food and water. He wants y'all to throw up. He's not going to tell you that, but he wants you to throw up in the ring. Yeah, he said, Tank like 5'5", if that. Yeah, if 5'5". He little. Tank is small. If you ever watch Tank is a little dude. Even his coach called him little. You see, he grew up with Calvin Ford. Y'all, did you notice that? You see how little he was when he was growing up, and now he's professional. He's still small like that. That's like Rigondeaux. Remember Rigondeaux? Rigondeaux was small, trying to move up. but he was just a beast. And wasn't nobody touching him. Cause Rigondeaux walk around at like 120, something like that, 118. He walk around little. See, that's the difference when you have a great star, is that most of the time they're walking around at their weight. See, Terrence Crawford more or less walks around at his weight too. He's not big. He has to put on weight. Because he's always looked real slim and everything. If you notice, before he got up to 147, he's just a slim cut guy. Strong, slim cut, kind of crafty. Not the most spectacular, fancy type of fighter like that, I could watch his fights. Sometimes he gets a little boring, but I could watch his fights. Because I like to watch him. He starts picking you. He'll start picking you apart. And that's what fighters do, though. He's not no come out and just start firing type of fighter, though. I would like to see somebody just come out that really can box, got a good jab, and just come straight at him. And see, that's why it's hard for us, some people that appreciate boxing, it's harder for us to appreciate these fighters and try to compare them up with like the Sugar Ray Leonards and Tommy Hearns and all that, because you guys would have got smashed completely. For real. Because especially in welterweight, because Tommy Hearns at welterweight, he's coming out throwing punches right away. He's coming out throwing a long-ass jab at you right away. You got to defend that. First of all, you got to defend that jab right away. He's not waiting. He's not waiting to come out. There ain't no fill around rounds for him when he's coming at you. I mean, Roberto Duran was like a monster. I mean, from 135 up to like 160. Something like that. He was a freaking beast. Hard to hit, but not for the hitman. Tommy Hearns put him out with one of the most devastating crybaby punches that you ever seen. Overhand right. And you can hear it, man. Just poof. It just shut his whole system down. Duran fell straight on his face. Boom. And nobody's ever done him like that. Ever. Nobody's ever done him like that. And I don't think none of these welterweights, I don't think y'all could have handled that kind of pressure right away from like Tommy Hearns coming right at you. Everything he's throwing, he's trying to send you to dreamland with almost every shot. Every shot besides the jab. And the jab was hard enough to put you down too, though, but I'm just saying. Everything he was throwing. So, if you're starting to see now, you weigh it out. Now you're starting to see that this is a different type of era. You can match these guys up and say how great they are, they pound for pound, they should be in the Hall of Fame. You can say that. But when people see their highlights versus the fighters of old's highlights, they're gonna wonder why are they even in there as a pound for pound, or why are they in there as a Hall of Famer. They're gonna shake their head like this is a Hall of Famer. In some sports they'll be like, this is a Hall of Famer, but this is not. Because I'll plead my case for even people like Barry Bonds, Don't want to put him in there. Yeah, and go ahead and put Rose in there. Go ahead and put Pete Rose into the Hall of Fame. No, you might as well. It's a sport. I mean, if you want to put a side note in the Hall of Fame, if you want to show a short clip that this guy, even though he's a Hall of Famer, he was caught doing this, and this, then you can do that. Same thing with Barry Bonds. If you want to say, but if you can't prove anything, don't say it. But if you have proof of accusations or something that they was using some kind of PEDs or something that, if you have the proof that it helped him out. With Barry Bonds, the only thing that could have helped him out when it came to his sport was maybe power, but I don't think he really needed the power, any extra power. And why was he able to still play baseball if he did something? I don't know. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I guess we'll do is keep going. Yeah, but you got these guys today that are overweight, and they go to lose all this weight, just to make weight for a fight, and that's why they look bad sometimes. Because a lot of times you don't lose weight the way you're supposed to. You just don't. You don't lose weight the proper way. And if you don't lose weight the proper way, it's not gonna work out for you. Now you can have some guys that walk around at their fight weight and they're just not as good, but that's just a thing. They're just not as good. But if you got these, if you got some excellent or great fighters that walk around at their weight, they're gonna be hard to beat. Because you're always going to be struggling. You're always going to be in that sauna suit. You're always going to be running all those miles, putting all those miles on your legs. It's not the mileage like that long distance that they do. That's not what you really need to do. I would say you probably need to run, if you can get yourself up to running, which is going to sound crazy, 800 meters 12 times. That's a lot, though. It sounds like a whole lot. It can be, but it's not. Because you talk about you fighters out there doing this road work. Let's do 800 meters with some kind of time on it. That's my workout for you. Not long distance. You do what I say, 12 of those. That's all you need. That's gonna give you enough stamina to go 12 rounds. Or if you don't want to do that, you can do 600. Do 600 meters, 12 times. You cut your distance down, or you can do 400 meters 12 times. But anytime we cut the distance down, we got to cut the speed has to go up. So once you build up, you do 400 meters, then you have to finish in a time of, let's say, no less than a minute and 15 seconds. And that's what you got to do. So you do 12 of those. And we're going to get you in some shape. Don't act like Eagle don't know. We're going to get you in some shape. That's why you don't want to work out with me. You don't want me working your ass out, because I'm going to have you tired. I'm going to make you do stuff that you just ain't used to doing. But there's always a purpose behind all of it. We're going to make sure them legs is right. So we're going to keep you in those kind of positions. We're going to walk. We're going to walk fast. We're going to walk backwards. We're going to walk side to side. We're going to do all kinds of stuff. We're going to do all this shit outside. We're going to drill you. You're going to go side to side. You're going to be doing all that little inside the triangle steps and all that shit. We ain't going to do all that shit. You can do that. You don't need no triangle. You ain't got no triangles or rectangles in the ring. So we're going to do the same kind of movements that you can do in the ring. That's what you're going to do. That's going to be your drills. You're going to be working your ass off. Then we're going to spar. We're going to spar. But we're gonna work on certain things at a time. We're gonna do nothing but what if scenarios. What if this happens? What if that happens? So that way you got an answer for everything. We got to try to make an answer for everything that somebody's doing. We'll figure it out. What they doing? Are they slipping this way? Okay, we're gonna have to step in and do this. That's how you got to figure it out, man. You got to be. Your mind has to be there. You can't just. Because I don't believe that everybody who trains used to fight and all that. I don't believe all of them was. I don't think they was all as great. They're not all great teachers, man. Just because you fought don't mean you're a great teacher. Some people just better at explaining stuff. You don't get it. You gonna get it though. Don't worry. We just got a little bit more time. Don't worry about it. So boxing. So here's my question for you, sir, since you in here. So my biggest question today is I want anybody in here that, and you guys can say something too. You don't have to just leave it up to Sir Flame. The ones of you that keep popping in and out, if you're visiting or whatever, you can say some stuff. I mean, nothing's going to happen to you. Don't worry about it. Yes, you do something foul. But the question being, out of the nicknames of these fighters today, who's actually living up to their nickname? I mean, you could be funny if you want to, but it's okay. But I actually want y'all to be like really serious about it. So who's living up to their nickname today in boxing? Who's living up to the nickname, like the greatest? Who's living up to that? There's nobody by the name of greatest today, so don't get that wrong. We got different things. We got stuff like the truth. We got stuff like Showtime. We got things like the Assassins. We got things like the Rock. I'm just naming past, present, and some of the guys is right now. So I'm just naming some of the names. So who's living up or have lived up to their nickname? Sugar Ray Leonard, Hitman, the Hitman Tommy Hearns, Motor City Cobra, same thing, Smoking. So who's living up to their names today? And I'm just naming stuff even from the past. I'm just naming stuff big. That's some of the names, man. It's kind of crazy. I'm just off the top of my head just thinking of some of the past names that some of the fighters had. We had a lot of Sugar Rays there, which is crazy. I think we had sugars. We probably had about, I would say, maybe close to 10 sugars. And people don't even know. We had about 10 sugars. You believe that? We had a lot of different sugars. That should be a trivia question. A question: how many sugars can you name in boxing? And that's just boxing, but not. That didn't necessarily have to be a fighter, but in boxing, how many sugars can you name? But who's living up to that now? Who's living up to stuff? Because truth's been around, right? It's always hasn't been just Earl Spence, hasn't just been the truth, right? Sweet Pea. Who's our Sweet Pea of the day? Today, let me just grab a couple of them. Who's even our boom boom today? Who's our boom boom? Who's our boom boom today? Our Ray. Who's our boom boom today? Huh? Who's our Macho Camacho today? Who's our Sugar Ray? No matter which one you want to use, who's that today? Which one is that? Who's our Ali of today? See, I'm trying to get y'all to open up these little layers and stuff so you can see. Huh? Who's our Rock today? Who's our Iron today? I know somebody said they was Iron, but like I said before, there's nobody living up even to you're not living up to your nicknames. You throwing these nicknames at us, but you're not living up to it. I'm seeing a bunch of suspects. Boxing is full of suspects. That's all we got, sir. We got a bunch of suspects in boxing. They suspected boxers. That's a damn shame, man. When y'all suspect, we suspect you of boxing. We supposed to know. We supposed to know that you box. We ain't supposed to suspect you of nothing. Like you suspected of a crime. You suspected of boxing. You shouldn't be suspected of boxing. You supposed to go out there and be that guy. You supposed to be out there. You supposed to be the one that's boxing. You know. But anyway, when I was talking about that tragedy, when that guy would you know the fighter's name? Anybody know the fighter's name that they keep showing on all social media? The one that was just frozen in the middle of the ring and then collapsed, and the guy didn't put no more punches on him. And then the other one where the guy put a 2-piece on him or a 3-piece on him when the guy was already standing up out. Y'all, yeah, you can't play boxing and you shouldn't be playing around in boxing. You should, you guys got to be more, you're supposed to be a professional fighter. If you can't see, you had people like I'll put it again, Sugar Ray Leonard used to call the ref and tell the ref, hey, I'm beating this guy's ass. Stop me from whooping his ass. Roy Jones Jr. used to call the ref and say, "Look, ref, I'm whooping his ass. You want me to keep hitting him, or are we good?" Who else? Muhammad Ali used to say, "I'm whooping his ass, ref. Could you stop this ass whooping I'm putting on him?" See? That's when you're a professional fighter. You can do that when you can recognize somebody hurt. George Foreman has done it. Those are big names. All those are big names. So we must not have fighters on that level then, because we must not have fighters on that level, on that skill set level, and on that humanitarian level, on that level of consciousness. We must not have fighters on that level. I'm not getting no responses. And sir probably busy. And and I can see when you guys come in and out. I can see that. I can see when you guys come in. So if you got a comment about that, then just give me the comment. Just say something. Say something about it. If you got the answer, just give me an answer. Give me an answer, or just give me your answer. I'll take that. So all the namesakes in boxing, who is the real namesake of boxing right now? And do we have a true fighter at any weight right now? Do we have a fighter that's really at his weight? And I'm going to tell you who's getting more and more used to his weight. And that's Lomachenko. You guys might not like that either, but Lomachenko, yeah. Lomachenko is he's at his weight he's walking around at his weight. A lot of you guys, you got that steakhouse money or that fancy restaurant money. The fancy restaurant is worse than the steakhouse, because the fancy restaurant is going to make everything rich. Oh, okay. He said, my bad. I'm back. Yeah, so, no, I was asking who's actually living up to their name in boxing. Now, nobody else saying nothing right now. So everybody got all these names in boxing. Who's living up to their name? Like the Tanks, the Sugar Rays, the Alis. Who's the Alis? Who's living up to their name? Who's living up to like the greatest? Who's living up to the Truth? Who's living up to the Hitman? Oh, she said Bud was looking at the ref like that with Spence. Yeah, but he didn't show that. He didn't show that confidence. Like he didn't tell the ref like ref, go on and stop it. I'm killing him. See, that's the difference. If you could see that something was wrong with Spence, then something. Earl, he can't fight nobody, man. It would have been nice. What would have been nice, even with Earl's pressure style. What would have been nice is to see Earl when Earl was like fully Earl. It would have been nice to see him. But people start overestimating Earl because of Ugas and other fighters that they weren't just at they were. Ugas wasn't necessarily scared of Spence, but all them Garcias was scared of Spence. Even their corner was telling them. Their corners telling them their ass cheeks had locked up. Because if you heard Angel Garcia telling Danny that you ain't doing shit, if you see that, but ain't none of y'all living up to even your names. And just like I mentioned before, you're not walking around like Floyd Mayweather. That's why you can't beat him, because you're not walking around at your fight weight. You can't beat Sugar Ray Robinson because you ain't walking around at your fight weight. Remember, they in same day weigh-ins, and then at the same time, Sugar Ray Robinson, guess what? 4 or 5 fights in a month, all knockouts. Name a fighter of today's era that does that. Now, you can't even go back 10 years and find out somebody who's done that. Can't do it. You can't. And anybody who's been close to that has probably been a heavyweight. Probably a heavyweight. If anybody's done that, there's been a heavyweight. It hasn't been none of the lighter weights. You know why? Because you guys, when you got in that fight, you came in 20 pounds overweight. And if you had a fight the next week, you wasn't going to make it. You said Pac-Man looked at the ref like stop the fight, man. He looked like that. He looked like stop the fight, man, when Marquez put his ass out. he was smelling the canvas. I think that's the worst knockout though. At least if somebody hit me and I go backwards, at least I know I could make up excuses like, oh shit, I kind of tripped, because you can trip going backwards. You ain't tripping when you get hit by a punch going forward. Now you got your shit rattled. But my point is, sir, is just none of these guys, they're not matching up with the past guys. You can't, because they're not following the rules, and the fans have accepted that the Marquis of Queensberry's rules is out. They don't care. So they don't care if it's a fair match. They don't care about PEDs. They don't care about none of that. And just like I said before, I'm not in no Haney's corner, but I'm with his dad. His dad should be with his son, because that's what dads do. But just give dad more credit. I mean, I know dad is kind of a troll and he talk and he get on people's nerves, but I mean, that's his dad. Let his dad do what he do. His dad he's causing controversy, which is good, you know. But like I said, Ryan, you end up getting sued, and if that shit goes to criminal court, man, your ass is getting locked up. That's a damn shame. That's another black eye. While you're looking at the Carmel Moultons and all these other fighters just coming up, we got to see how they do. Right now, you're doing good. You're 3-0. You got 2 knockouts. One guy you couldn't knock out. You get hit a little bit too much, but we're gonna see. Maybe you're forcing it. He's real young though. He's really young. You know, so maybe that's why he does it. Yeah. See, honestly, I think Loma will win if it goes the distance, but I think Tank will KO Loma out. He said round 8 or 9. It's a possibility. Maybe Loma. I mean, because I look at it being like extra competitive. But the thing is with Loma is we just don't know when that clock is going. We don't know when he's going to clock out. And that's the point. When you get older, you never know when you're going to really clock out. Like, okay, this is the time. Because it took me forever to just start like being a person, like a normal person. It took me a long time to become like more or less normal, and I don't like it. It makes me feel like I don't know. I just don't feel right. I don't feel right being more normal. I like being more superhuman than, you know. I kind of miss that when people say, "Damn man, when people call me an alien." I like that. But now I'm just regular. I mean, far as most stuff. Some things I'm still irregular. People say, no, you're not like other people. I know, but physically, I'm just normal. Might be below normal now, but just within the last few years, I don't know. Well, we know there's some events that happened that might have contributed to it. But I was always wondering what it felt like to be like that. Because like I said, I'm the type of person to wake up and just go run 8, 12 miles on an empty stomach, and then take no water bottles like they do now. They take all this water with them. I ain't take no water bottles, none of that. Nothing. No food, no money, nothing. Nothing where I could stop and have an excuse and start relaxing. Nope. I made it to where if I got somewhere, I had to get my ass back. So if I ran 6 miles out, I had to run 6 miles back. If I ran 4 miles out, I had to run 4 miles back. You know, and that's the way I did it. But these people, people just ain't they're not like that today. But and another thing I like about this matchup is both of these guys, like I talked about earlier. So both of these guys are more or less walk around at their weight, so they can't. They're not gonna be able to tease each other about weight. You know, I made weight. They're not gonna be able to tease each other about that. So Tank is gonna have to use, if he fights him, it's gonna have to be a different strategy, because he can't. He walks around at the same weight you walk around at. You both walk around little, so it's not gonna be a weight thing. It's gonna be like the game plan. That's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be whoever's game plan comes, comes to the forefront, before the competition is over. So that's what it's going to boil down to. If Tank is just not catching him and Lomas is just like those angles is getting to him. He hasn't learned how to, back up off those angles. Because when somebody turns around you, all you got to do is back up. That's the simplest way away from it. Just take a couple of steps back. Or you spin to the side, I just go back a couple of steps. Now you're to the side, but you're so far away that you can't even engage. Rather than me turning. Because if you turn, a lot of times if you turn when somebody's on the side of you, then you turn it right into a punch. But if you back up, then you're getting away from whatever he's about to do. So there's different ways. Go under stuff, push him off you. There's a lot of different ways. But yeah, whoever got the best game plan and the most mindset can win. Or the only thing I can see, if Loma did really get old, or he just don't have the strength with Tank, if he doesn't show Tank that he has any strength, Tank is gonna bulldoze him. And I don't really want to see that for Loma. Because Loma's been, he was overhyped as a fighter, but he's been pretty good for boxing. He didn't put some money in some pockets, so I don't want to see that happen to him. And it's not like we got abundance of talent. I know a lot of people think we're in a new era. We got such abundance of talent. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna be honest with you. Bruce Ennis didn't look that good with this guy. With this guy that was moving a lot and and changing angles on him. And this guy, the guy he was fighting, was putting some hands on him. If that guy has some power, we might have seen him go down, because Boots. You was getting your ass. You was taking some punches. And you supposed to be so slick, not getting hit. You was getting your ass pieced up. I'm sorry to say that, but I'm not sorry, because that's what I do. I report whatever's real. Niggas wear boxing when you want the real, not some deal. That's what you getting, baby. Because you was getting some, dude was putting some paws on you. Ha ha ha. And there was somebody else got some paws put on them, and they were supposed to look better than they did. A lot of you fighters been, getting paws put on you lately, and you guys were supposed to be, the showcaser. Benavidez is supposed to be out there knocking people out. And so many rounds. 6 rounds, I should have them out. You ain't even knocking nobody out. Meanwhile, they talk shit about Bivol, and Bivol still putting hands on people. It's like, stop it, man. Y'all don't. If y'all want those big fights, y'all should be already like David Benavidez should have came straight up. Now he should be calling out Better BF right now. Show us that you're a real monster. Call out Better BF right now. Show us that you're a monster. I don't want to hear nothing about no Canelo, because Canelo is not he's not a champ to me. He's not even a contender right now to me. He never, because of the Lara fight, because of the Trout fight, because of the Mayweather fight, because of the Bivol fight. Somebody made a good point, sir. As they saying the last time that Canelo actually looked good, superior, is that time he got popped. He got popped dirty when he fought Triple G. That's the last time he actually looked good, like good, is when he was on that shit. So everybody knows something. You knew you was on that shit. You ain't had no tainted beef. Get your dumb ass out of here trying to fool the public and stuff. You some tainted beef. But you looking good in there, and you ain't realizing shit. If somebody slipped me a Mickey or something, I'm gonna know. Sometimes you can't talk, but you tell some, oh man, your head will tell, your head be rocking back. Sir, somebody got me, man. They put something in my drink, man. Take me to the doctor, something. You know what I mean? If you got somebody who's with you, care about you. Sir, leave me on the floor or something. Hopefully not. Hey, y'all could have said something. Stop coming into my live and not say nothing, man. Too bad you can't see who they are, sir. Throw their ass out. Coming in and out. Yeah, but I'm going to have to get up out of here too, though, man. I got to finish getting my stuff ready. What we got? It says it's 82 degrees here, but it's It's probably like 100. Because it's been 100 here, so. Yeah. I keep seeing this. Oh no, I get myself caught up watching that power slap sometimes. But I gotta stop watching that shit. It's actually, to be honest, I watch that every once in a while, but it's actually disturbing. Yeah. It is very, very disturbing when you think about it. But people like violence and stuff, so everybody gets caught up into that power slap stuff. But man, because I seen a guy get slapped the other day and his face was bleeding. Every time he got slapped, he was bleeding somewhere else. So I'm like, so this whoever's slapping him he must be scratching him at the same time, because you can't just slap the blood out somebody's face. Whew. But that's another story though. But if you guys can come up with somebody who's living up to their name, let me know. If somebody's living up to their name, and plus we're gonna see how long they live up to their name. Yeah, well, Bud Crawford's living up his name because his name is just Bud. So it's like, Bud. I guess you're living up to that. But a lot of these fighters, you're not living up to. You're not living up to all your hype and stuff. I need to get me at least one throwback fighter that says F the money, F the pay-per-view, this scrap, and go from arena. Just go to different places, advertise your place in big cities somewhere, and then just go get some fights. There's big enough cities that's gonna pay you enough money. Just tell them, hey, especially if it's a big city that don't usually have like boxing, hey, just go sell yourself in that area. Get yourself a nice little event. Get on the local radios and stuff like that. And if it's not about that money, just get some of that gate. That's it. If it's not going to be publicized, just go get some money. Show somebody, hey, I'm old school. I don't care about that money right now. I'm gonna get the money, but I'm whooping asses right now. Go get it done. So you say you're slapping with them construction hands. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. I'm like, damn man, your hands must be. I mean, he must practice slapping concrete walls or something. Not just construction. He must be slapping concrete walls or some shit to get when your hands get that scratchy and rough. Where every time you slap somebody, you make them you make them bleed. Somebody sent me before I get out of here, man. Stupid. Somebody sent me a clip of a slap champion, and the champion man got slapped so hard he went down and got up, but his whole head was so swollen up that the guy that he was about to slap, so the guy slaps him the last time, and his head is all swollen, eyes is almost shut. So the guy that was slapping him just quit. He's like, nah. He's like, I'm good. He's like, I'm good. You the champ. Yeah, I'm good. You the champ. And I was thinking to myself, shit. I said, damn, I probably would have done the same thing, man. If I bust somebody up like that and they still slapping me, I'm like, nah, ain't no way because I'll be thinking to myself, man, I can't win this. I said, ain't no way I could. I mean, this guy you got to unalive this guy in order to beat him. It ain't no way you beating him because he's still, I mean, his head is twice as big as it normally should be, and he's still slapping. Anyway, let me get out of here. Let me get myself ready, man. But hopefully, Lala D and some of you other guys, hopefully you guys come and you guys watch this. Maybe you can comment, and you can let me know who's living up to their boxing name today. Which boxers? And remember, let's go back to trying to get these matches, and we'll discuss that up in here too. We're gonna discuss the points that I made way back, like years ago, when we made these points of who wins the battle. So we'll just do that. We'll just call it something like that, like who wins the battle, and what that will entail. That will entail better lateral movement, front foot power. So we'll discuss all that stuff. So that way, when we're looking at fighters, maybe we can analyze them a little bit better. because we won't know their psychology and their motives is something that has to be discussed differently. Because we never know. And I don't want to do all that research going back to find out what you did, why you don't want to fight this fighter and stuff like that. So we don't want to go through that. This is just self-explanatory, like Canelo asking for 200 million. I don't know what I mean. You guys don't have to try to. I mean, certain people, like I say, they will fight exhibitions just to keep you from shining, to keep you from getting as much money as they make. Like, yeah, you made X amount, but I still made this amount. Some people don't. I don't know. Money is a competition too. Anyway, my shout out to all the real people that I see, and my shout out to all y'all that mess with me. Y'all know what it is. Eagles Wear Boxing, man. This is Wednesday. Before work, it's me and Sir Flame talking because nobody else want to say nothing. But leave a comment, and if you see something, go check out my store, man. See if you like anything in there, man, and let me know. Maybe I could rush you out some kind of discount code. Anyway, I got some nice shirts up in there too. I would say get like a hoodie for the winter coming, winter, fall. I would say I'll get a t-shirt, something like that. Or whatever you like. Or a nice little gift. Get like a lamp, a rug or something. I'm gonna catch y'all, man. Yeah, nothing but peace, nothing but uplifting, brother. We're gonna see you.